Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday, the 19th of January. So, first things first, let's go and have a look at the news. Obviously, over the weekend, we've been, being hit with, but obviously Trump's plans to take over Greenland are becoming his key thing at the moment. Forget all about the bad things out there, and let's go and take over a country that doesn't belong to us. Anyway, I'll get off that soapbox. So what we got today in terms of news-wise is it's a US bank holiday, Martin Luther King Day, isn't it? Yep, there we go. So it's Martin Luther King Day today. Aside of that, we've got Canadian data coming out there, inflation, and business outlook, and that's pretty much it for the day. So aside of what Trump might come up with, aside of that, then let's look at the technicals. The euro dollar pretty much on Friday. Well, we saw continuation. First thing this morning. I say first thing at the open. It wasn't this morning at all. It's 10 o'clock last night. Anyway, it's recovered from the gap. Whether it will hold up here, I'm just looking at these, and really, technically they were heading southbound regardless, and it looks like we could see more downside there as we go through. I'd be waiting for a break to the downside, but it's really messed things up this morning. A bit of patience needed on these. That's the euro dollar. The overall picture for the week, though, is still really looking southbound. The pound, similar-ish. It's slightly stronger against the dollar than the euro, but still the overall lower highs, lower lows feeding through here. We saw that on Thursday, the break of the lows there, really suggesting further downside potential. And looking at it at the moment, it just it's done what it's. This sort of movement filled the gap, and could be heading back southbound. Maybe a break below these lows later this morning. Could be an opportunity for a bit of continuation back to the lows and maybe further. US dollar yen. Well, we're not seeing a great deal of happiness here for the yen. It had done okay from sort of midweek last week, and it's been strengthening there, but we'll see. This could continue in that role at some point. It's filled its gap here pretty much, and let's see what happens there. But it had started moving to the downside and looking a little bit more positive for the yen itself, but we'll wait to see. As I said last week, this is in the zone of getting quite extreme to the upside, and we have seen action taken when it's been getting up to those levels previously. Australian dollar, well, you can see from the dailies here, it's largely chopping. It becomes very difficult to trade, so I would leave that personally. There may be opportunities still on the break there. US dollar CAD, similarish picture in terms of its choppiness. It's recovering a bit this morning, but overall I still think this will push back to the upside, and it's quite a messy old state of affairs there. New Zealand dollar, similarish. See it much better on the dailies here, the choppiness of this. None of those looking particularly good. I was looking at pairs like the Euro Aussie last week, and it had at times, it did roll over quite nicely towards you. At one stage, it chopped up. I was thinking of this as the 4-hourly chart. It had slipped over at one stage, but that was later in the week. Yeah, it's quite ugly where it sits at the moment. Maybe the double bottom came in there, and it's sort of stalled things at the moment. Maybe another breakdown will eventually get a continuation, but nothing immediately there for me at this stage. Looking at other markets, well, gold is up 1.5% on the Trump, so new all-time records we're seeing here. Don't worry, we're seeing natural gas up 7%. We're seeing silver up 3.5%. Some of these things are flying this morning. Yeah, it's not really a great deal I could do with gold. The problem with gold is it's taken that big move there. Maybe it will break the highs here and continue and be an opportunity at some stage. It's quite difficult to get into it at times. Oil is down 0.5% at the moment. Still on the softer side, but it's, as I keep on saying, it's around these lows. Producers don't want to be producing much lower than this price, but well, the price is what the price is at the moment, and there is scope for this to continue to the south side, downside here. Looks with this lower high that's just sort of pitched in here, it just looks soft. Yeah, could see that this afternoon coming off. Equity markets down 1% on the S&Ps here, gap down. Not liking things at all. That gap could get filled at some point later on. We'll see what happens. I do like these gaps, they do get filled, but we'll see what happens for now. But it's certainly that concern in the markets. The FTSE's down nearly 1%, but again last week it shoved up there quite strongly. This might just give us opportunities. It's a bit like an inverted pound really. It might just give us the opportunities on the break there, back up to the upside. At some point we'll see how things develop. And the DAX, well, this is my normal favourite shorting toy, but it has left that big gap there. Again, wait and see if this does reverse, but it looks weaker. Certainly looks weaker. At the moment it's looking like we get a break of those lows and we could get a continuation. Looking very iffy at this stage. Okay, anyway, I shall leave it there, and I'll speak to you in the morning. Take care. Bye for now.